Yellowstone volcano. How a Texas city was evacuated after an end of the world warning. The city of Ennis in Texas was evacuated in the middle of the night after a warning was sent by a local in Yellowstone National Park because of the 7.3 magnitude earthquake of 1959, the Hebgen Lake earthquake. Calamhor Express UK reports. The Yellowstone caldera, we know, it gets its label as a supervolcano because if it has a super eruption, it could devastate the world on a global level. Now, hidden beneath the U.S. state of Ohio, Montana, and is basically in the state of northwest Wyoming, the supervolcano is constantly being monitored by the United States Geological Survey, the Yellowstone Volcano Observatory, for any signs of an eruption. Scientist in charge is Mike Poland. He recently revealed that there had been more than 135 earthquakes in the park region last month, including a swarm of 78 local tremors. While there was an equal amount in the state of Montana towards Helena. Now, while these incidents are nowhere near the levels needed to trigger an eruption, Dr. Poland reminds viewers what happened at Hebgen Lake during the 7.3 magnitude earthquake back in 1959. That took place August 17. He said about 11:30 in the evening. He said, "I think this anniversary is a good reminder to us that earthquake hazards in Yellowstone region are pretty significant." Okay, this article says that the magnitude earthquake was 7.5. Others I've read says it was 7.3. I don't understand why it's not consistent. Well, we'll say this was 7.5 as it says here. The 7.5 magnitude earthquake caused massive damage and considerable damage of over $12 million in repairs to highways and timbers. The acclaimed historian Larry Morris detailed the anxiety that all this caused in the area, even to states far away, all the way down to Texas. He said there was a man camped out, and after the quake, he ran out and all he could see was an empty lake bed, and he concluded that the dam had burst. Well, then what happened is he climbed into his car and somehow made it to West Yellowstone. The roads were all totally demolished, and he found a radio operator in West. Quote, he told that the dam had collapsed, and the radio operator started sounding the word. Somebody in Arizona picked it up. It went all the way down to Utah and Idaho, and then it came back to Virginia City. It's like the game that we play when we're little children, the broken telephone. Somebody whispers one thing in your ear, by the time it goes down 10 people, you get a totally different message. Now, Mr. Morris revealed how the message traveled more than 1,000 miles in a matter of seconds, and he says, when they heard that the dam had burst, the sheriff and also a man here in Helena, he means Montana, by the name of Hugh Potter, decided that the town of Ennis should be evacuated. Ennis is right on the banks of the Madison River, so it was evacuated in the middle of the night, but the dam did not fail. Built in 1914, those engineers deserve a lot of credit because it held. Mr. Norris went on to reveal some of the shocking memories from those that witnessed it. He said one man, I heard had a terrible rumble and looked up. He heard a terrible rumble, looked up, saw the whole mountain crumbling. That's because, of course, they had landslides as well. He said it was awful. I saw a lot of fighting during World War II, but I never heard such a roar. In other words, said the roar sounded like the end of the world. Now, many of them compared this sound of a freight train or a whole bunch of freight trains coming right at them. After only 3 weeks, the dam river created a lake called Earthquake Lake or Quake Lake. It was more than 170 feet deep. The lake the quake created now covers an area 5 miles long and a third of a mile wide. And as it is today, tourists is still there. Tourists in the area can stop by Earthquake Lake Visitor Center, about 27 miles north of West Yellowstone, to relive what happened about over a century ago. I'll leave links below for you for this on Express UK. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.